Hello everyone, I am Dr. Rishiraj Tiwari and welcome to our show. There are many authors and books which are a big ocean of information and intelligence alike. Today, we welcome Mrs. Aparna Jagannath with her new book, Bala. This is based on child and their psychology. Now, in this book, there are a set of 10 small stories and they are quite big enough to enlighten each and every one of us. So let's welcome Mrs. Aparna Jagannath from Pune right now. Hello, ma'am. It's my pleasure to
Hello.
have you here again with your another book. You are Aparna Jagannath and coming and joining us directly from Pune. I am Dr. Rishiraj Tiwari, and this is your second book about which we will be discussing in today's show. And welcome you once again.
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity.
It's my pleasure, ma'am. So this is your another book, Bala. And so the name shows and the pick of the book also signifies that it is about children. So the first thing I would like to know about this book, what is there in this book for children and for everyone else?
Yeah, sure. First, this is the book that I've written. Uh, excuse me.
No problem.
Uh, my my book Bala contains 10 different short stories for children, and each of the stories conveys some kind of ethical values for them. For example, children usually try to adopt shortcut method, and you can see that in many schools, some kids use cheating. So I try to convey that this is unfair, and that for every work you cannot use a shortcut method. So parents can also learn everything from this book. Like I have tried to give some new concept of parenting, like discipline them with friendliness.
Okay. So now the people say that yes, children nowadays do not go ahead with discipline and they are not so much familiar with those stuffs which we used to have in our own time. We were disciplined. We used to listen to our teachers, our parents, and multiple factors as of such kind. So how this book resonates with you and with other people, those who are going to read it up.
Uh, First of all, like, I wanted to write this book keeping in mind that the children these days are very much distracted by smartphones and video games, and they have conveniently forgotten to play outside. Physical sports is very much important for their health. So, ever since Corona invaded our lives, children resorted to hooking up to mobile phones and linking to the social media and all. So I wanted to create an awareness in them through my stories that exists a physical world where you should interact with people and play more. And there's a sad situation in Chennai where I used to live. There are no longer playgrounds near my house, and children are left to play on the streets, which is not safe for them. So I had to address all these issues through my book.
That's very nice. Even I do remember our childhood that at least we have got some small playgrounds in our vicinity. But nowadays, and it's, especially in metropolitan, let it be Pune or Bangalore or Chennai, so it's a rarity, I can say, to have a nearby playground. So the most amazing question of today, which I want to ask you, that you have written multiple books, and that also on a wide spectrum arena of subjects. Last time we did, it was on comedy. You have written another book that is on horror also, and this is coming to child psychology. So how you are just thinking and writing on all these wide kind of subjects, and also that on the same time? This I want to magnify your brain and just want to have a look on that.
I'm grateful to God for giving me this thought process. Actually, I believe in experimenting with different kind of genres, because if you serve the same story, or we have the habit of serving the same story. For example, in movies, if a particular kind of movie clicks, then there are other producers who resort to the same kind of stories. So just as in food, we prefer to eat different kind of food. So I decided to experiment with different genres.
That's very nice and interesting as well. That's true that you cannot eat sugar for a long time, neither you can eat salt for the long time. So you need to just mix and match and eat. And so is the books. So we have a lot of young parents, those who have a problem with their child, that yes, they don't listen to us, or they are going behind the junk food kind of thing. And again, the screen time, what we have talked. So what can be the best suggestion that you can give to young parents that they need to inculcate in their life to bring their children on a correct track, which in fact we had in our time, when we used to have healthy vegetables and foods, and lots and lots of fun games outside the home. So what can be your suggestion on the same?
Whenever I read about parenting system in America and India, there is a lot of difference. Here, at least we have some kind of leniency to tell them that what you are doing is not right. Whereas if you raise your voice or try to shout at them or scold them, they will immediately call 911. This kind of attitude should not be adopted in India. So it's better to understand the psychology. Children are like unmolded clay. So it's up to us to bring them to our tone by understanding what they feel and how to give them importance. So giving them compliments when required is the best motivator for them. And telling them that what they are doing is not correct should be done in a diplomatic manner so that they do not get hurt. And if they are not listening to you or disobeying, so we can give some kind of punishment, like you are not going to watch TV, or you are supposed to write some kind of imposition. So rather than violence, we can resort to this kind of things as a punishment, and reward them when they are doing great work. And but we should also remember that we should not offer them bribe for doing their duties. It is their duty, and we should make them understand that as parents we are working day and night for their well-being. So they should understand the value of money and understand what their parents are going through, and they should be. For example, I have an idea, like they could be given a day to behave like adults and given the responsibility to manage the household. Then they will realize that their behavior is not appropriate, and they'll rectify their act.
That's very nice. In this statement of yours, I reminded of my school days, when on Teachers' Day we students were given the opportunity to become our favorite teacher, whatever we were in our classroom. And the student who became that teacher, he used to take that subject and he has to teach, and he has to do all that work of that teacher for one day. And this was a great experience for most of us, because we also understood that what pains the teachers are going ahead and how they are teaching us. So according to your words, I think that friendly parenting is the key to success for all the young parents, that you should be as a friend also. And at the same time, you should have your own courage to be the parent without going ahead with using your hands or something like that. But as you suggested that, yes, impositions can be there. There are certain restrictions like watching TV time or something. And that's a very good approach. So apart from that, when we are coming to today's time, we hardly see people youngsters, those who are inculcated and those who want to go ahead with reading the books. They say, no, I don't want to read. I just want to go ahead with Insta, FB, or YouTube. So what can be your suggestions to them? Why it is necessary to read the physical books?
First, when the children spend too much time on computers or mobile, it creates a strain on their eyes. And during this period of lockdown, I have observed that many children have taken to spectacles, wearing glasses. So it's alarming, and it's a matter of great concern. So books can be uh, entertaining, informative. They can transport them to another world, and we can in fact encourage them to take up books, and suggest them to write a review, and for every good review, they'll be given some kind of points, and in exchange for that points, they'll be taken to shopping or park, or any activity of their choice. So this can be used as a um, incent, uh, incentive to encourage them to take up to reading. And of course, there are other methods like joining them to the library, which I'm sure is dwindling nowadays thanks to Kindle. So let us begin with Kindle. If they are satisfied with digital reading also, let us begin with Kindle. And then we can take them to book fairs and show them the variety of books that is available to them. So we can encourage them to take up reading in this way.
That's very nice. Ma'am, I wanted to know, like, as far as I remember my childhood, so if we wanted certain toys or we wanted certain stuffs, so our parents used to directly tell us, this is good to go, this is not good to go, or what are the bad things you are going to buy or waste money in this. I remember Diwali time, the crackers time, that they said that, okay, 100 rupees is the maximum limit. You either you keep this 100 rupees, you want to eat, you want to do anything, or you want to buy crackers and burn the money, just go and do it. But this is the 100 rupees, that is the last limit, what I'm going to give. Do you think that the parents of today's age are somewhere promoting the children to go in a wrong way when they are fulfilling each and every demand of their children? Let it be appropriate, let it be something of a super expensive kind, let us say iPhones. So as far as I remember, I was in class 12th when I saw the first Nokia 3350, and that also with uh, huge pomp and show that this is Nokia 3350, which was having nothing. But now I see that people, students of class 7 and 8, they just go ahead with their parents. No, I want iPhone, I want this super expensive laptop or something like that. And parents give them. If they have that money, they give them. Do you think this is a wrong thing that parents are doing?
Yes, of course. In a way, they are spoiling their own children. In fact, they should not be given access to gadget until they complete at least their 10th standard, because mobile phones are more of a distraction rather than uh, being helpful. So some parents, they just want to uh, spend more time on their mobile, and they'll say okay to everything, to whatever their children say. So I think this is not a correct approach. Uh, the uh, so the parents should uh, see to it that their mobile time or the time on the laptop should be restricted.
So even though if the child is going somewhere else, they can give the normal mobile phones, which has limited applications and like something like WhatsApp and whatever it is, but they should not fulfill their demand of giving super expensive things, super expensive laptops of going beyond 1 lakh rupees or iPhones. We can say that the normal stuff can be taken into consideration and they can give it to help them in commute
Yes.
or whatever it is. Now, the next question is rather something different. You have written so much of books. Which was the best comment you got from any reader? And especially, I want to know any young reader who has gone through your multiple books.
Actually, I got 2 reviews from US. Actually,
Okay.
they are not kids, but grown up parents. So they have given me some good reviews. Like, this is a kind of book that should be read by every parent and every children, so that they could understand what I'm trying to convey and inculcate those things in their real life to make a difference. So I think I was very much overwhelmed by both friends of mine, and they were my blogger friends.
So now, apart from that, when we come to the topics of children, there are very less number of books which are written by grown-ups on something as of a serious kind of topic like child psychology. They will write fun stories and all those things will be there. But this type of serious notes and inspiring, motivating, or with moral backgrounds, these are less in numbers. What do you want to tell to the young authors, or those who want to write something what they see in the society, or they want to just guide some other parents or children? What suggestions you want to give to them?
First, I would like to encourage them to take up writing, as I suggested in my previous interview also. Uh, Please feel free to be innovative and you use research work and use your imagination, because when it comes to writing fiction, imagination plays an important part. So I would like to suggest that while you are writing a book, please note to whom you are to who your target audience is, and keeping that thing in mind, you have to use proper vocabulary, and which should be understandable by all, and there should not be any kind of vulgar or offensive language, because children are very quick to grasp these things. They don't even understand the meaning, and they'll try to make this kind of sarcastic remarks. So try to write a book which is completely clean, entertaining, and convey some kind of message. So gone are the days when I remember when my grandparents used to tell us the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata. So those are the best books till now. I could confirm to that, because they taught us moral values, moral upbringing, how an ideal person should be. So we can narrate these stories in the form of comics that is available in the market. So children would be naturally inclined to read comics, if not books. So this is how young authors should try to adopt different approach, search Google, and see what kind of genre they are good at, and come up with a unique plot.
That's very nice. And definitely, when we are talking about Tulsi Das ji, Sur Das ji, and other people, they have definitely thought of a child psychology as well. Because when we see Balkand, when we see Surdas complete pad on the complete children, that how a child is behaving, like the best example, Maya Meri Maine Makhan Khayo. That is the best line of child psychology that is being presented at that time. So apart from that, you have given a very unique name, which is very common, Bala. And I think in most of the South Indian families, we have someone whose name is Bala or Balakrishnan. So, what made you select this as the title of your book, Bala?
Bala is the name of my deceased mother-in-law, and she used to love children. So I thought of dedicating this book as a tribute to her. She used to tell lots of stories to my daughter. So I used to enjoy listening to her, uh, even though I'm an adult, I used to listen to children's stories. So
That's very
I wanted
nice.
to pay attention to her.
That's very nice. There are two beautiful things in your this statement. The first thing is people generally take mother-in-laws in a different way and different scenario, and dedicating a book to her. So it's something out of this world, I can say. I have never heard of this thing before in my life as of now. You have done a very good thing, and we learn from our elders. They can be anywhere, and the best stories are always with the elders. They have their life experiences, they have gone through multiple books, and they create their own stories to teach every youngster. So out of this 10 stories which you have written in Bala, is there any story which you want to share with us in a short while?
There is a particular story which I like very much. That is getting trapped inside a smartphone.
Okay.
So this is a science fiction kind of movie, kind of story, and I'm sure the kids will also enjoy it. It's like the protagonist, that is the child called Ketan, is watching TV with his family, and all of a sudden the power goes off, and he is immediately transported to another world. That is, he is trapped inside a smartphone, and he wakes up inside a motherboard, where he finds it very chill, and he's shocked to find his family missing. And then the androids, in the form of robots, speak up that gone are the days when you used to rule us. Now we have taken over your world, and you are our slaves now. So instead of smartphone being the slave of humans, now humans are the slaves of smartphones. So the smartphones dictate terms to Ketan and his family. So what happens next must be read and find out from Bala.
Definitely. And apart from that, when we talk about these kinds of books in the market, which are definitely, you can just count it on fingers, there are very less book on child psychology. Now I want to know, do you think that there is an increasing uh, demand for understanding child's right now, children's psychology right now, as it was 10 or 20 years back in our
Uh,
time, I can say?
in our time, children used to be obedient. They never used to question our authority. Nowadays, children resort to ask questions. Why should I do this? Why should I do that? What advantage will I get? So there's a lot of difference between the children born in the 80s and 90s and the present day children. So in this regard, I can suggest that uh, we have to be careful of what we say in front of the children, because they learn easily from the adults, and they are so intrigued by whatever is taking place. Sometimes what happens is children repeat what we say in front of others, and causing embarrassment. So it's very difficult to deal with them these days.
And that is a funny thing, that as you told that in America, that if a parent is scolding a child, 911 is always there for helping them. And we just remember our past, that if in our home, on a lighter note, I can say, the newest slipper which used to come and which used to land was on our face, either of the reasons. We have got bitten by whatever kind of things in the home can be present, let it be hand, slipper, shoes, belts, and each and everything was there. And at that time, I do remember that parenting was not limited only to the parents, mother and father. It was complete society work. Everyone who was living next to our home, he can be of another place or whatever is, he is the part of family or she is the part of family. And if they say or see a person who is doing something wrong, even on the roadside, they won't complain. They would take action immediately at that time, because chacha, mama, mosa, fufa, everyone was there to take care of the child. But right now, children are locked inside the room with their mobile phone, as you have said, and parents are also somewhere busy in their life or in their own mobile phones. And that's why they are giving the child the liberty to use maximum of mobile phones just as a distraction. I also see that in our time, junk food was only meant for Sundays. Like, okay, aaj chutti ka din hai, Maggie khao. But now it is every now and then that, okay, Maggie is there for you or something like that kind of thing. In our time, parenting was on a different dimension. If a father is scolding or mother is beating, no one used to see that, okay, or question them that why you are doing this. And we were beaten in black, blue, red, all the colors and shades. But right now, even if you are scolding, there will be 10% asking the parents the question that why you are doing so. And this somewhere has given more liberty to the children in going to a wrong way. Sometimes I feel on this kind. However, it should be taken on a good way, that yes, my parents, those who have faced so much problems in their life when electricity was not there, proper schooling or books and internet, definitely it was not so much reachable. Still, our parents used to give us, and we considered our great, you can say, fate, that yes, we have got so loving and caring parents that they are giving us these things. So today's children also need to understand that yes, what problems our parents have faced and what liberty they are giving us, or what some kind of special things we are privileged to get. So this is the most important understanding that a child should have, irrespective where he is living or she is living. Now, my next question is coming to you. Where are your books available?
My book is available on Amazon and
Okay.
Read and Publication.
Okay. Now, apart from that, when we are talking about the discipline part, do you think that parents should start disciplining themselves first prior to teaching about discipline or all the positive things to their children?
Yes, of course. Parents should practice discipline for self-discipline first, and then only they are eligible to preach what they practice. So
That,
first, we have also become part of this social media web, caught in the web of our own. So we must try to spend maximum time with the family. Like set aside time for them, taking them outside. And here in particular, I would like to address an issue. Some parents, they expect too much from their children, and they often tend to compare their children with others. Like Mr. Gupta's son scored 95. Why didn't you score so? So these parents should remember that each and every child has his own or unique ability. So we should not be comparing them. because this will create a feeling of hatred against the parent. So we should we should place ourselves in the shoes and understand what if children question back. Why are you not like Mr. Gupta, who dotes upon his children? So it will hurt us. So we should keep this thing in mind before we scold our children. And there's a well-known proverb: "Practice what you preach." Unfortunately, most of us don't do that. We only preach but don't practice.
That is
This
very true and very
scenario.
important. Yes, exactly. And that is very true. And as you gave an example, I also came across one of the jokes in our time when it was said that a parent who was scolding his child for not getting all the A's in his marks card was counter question that, okay, I don't have all the A's in my report card. Why don't have you brought BMW and Mercedes in your home as like the other person living in the vicinity has got? And the parents were not having any answer to them. When we are comparing, we are doing a very bad thing with all the children. And that also you told about 95%. I recently came across one news when a child was scolded after scoring 98.9 or 99.8, something like that. And we were like, okay, 99.8, what you want? Even if they're 1 or 2 marks, they are getting deducted somewhere. What is the use of scolding them? And when they are doing it so nicely, they are presenting them. And I do feel that children what are of this age now, they are practically and mentally very much matured as compared to our time. And this is the thing, because they think about career, they think about their future, they know all the things. And this is a fact where there is a generation gap, because we think what we did 30 years ago or 40 years ago, and they are thinking and doing it on a day-to-day basis on current times. So this gap has should be understood and minimized at the massive scale. Then only it is good for each and everyone. Now, what differences you find in the children psychology of US, Europe, and in India?
Um, children actually, I can say that they are very sensitive all over the world, no matter what. Even if you say that, why didn't you do this? Then they'll immediately start sulking around and try to throw tantrums. Why did you scold me like that? So I don't think much of the difference in the children's attitude, but I cannot say that all the children are same. Some they take it in a positive manner. Some are very sportive. They take it that our parents are scolding for our benefit only. So children react differently in different countries.
So
But
you have written multiple
most,
books on
yes,
horror, on comedy, on child psychology. Which book made you most happy?
this book, of course, Bala short stories for children, because I wanted to reach out to children and share new stories which they may not have heard of, and they could learn something from my stories, like how to obey our parents, and what happens if we procrastinate, what happens if we use shortcut to clear our exams. So these are the kind of values I want to reach out to them and to distract them from digital world. So of course this one is very special because this is the first published book of mine. So it's
Okay.
something very special and remain close to my.
So do you think the person who will be reading this book, he will get much more knowledge, information about a child, his thought process, and the parenting guidance as well?
Yes, of course. So I have written it in such a way that the language is simple to understand. I have not used any kind of obscenities because it is meant to be read as a family. Not only the target group is for the children between 8 to 16, but even their parents can read it so that they can get an idea on how to interact with each other, how to encourage children, and children likewise children can also understand the difficulties of their parents. So it's
That's
a two-way process. And just as we say that children learn everything from adults, I can say that even adults can learn something from children. Like they don't discriminate each other on the basis of religion or wage war. For them, friendship is the only thing. that is genuine, and they don't care about the caste or creed, which is the thing I love most about children. Their innocence, and they are completely free from any kind of greed, jealousy, or all human vices. So this aspect, of course, humans as adults should realize and learn from them.
So my last question will be for you today. Digital engagement of the children. This has created a big gap between their own families because they are not talking with their parents, or they are just involved, or they are not playing with their siblings. What is your final take on this?
Um, as I can say that we have to be open with our kids. We can tell them the stories of our childhood, or tell them what are the advantages and disadvantages of spending too much time in front of TV or in front of mobile, and what harm it can cause. It can be done in a diplomatic manner also. So there are cartoons available, there are comics and different kinds of pamphlets available to make them understand that um, the first and foremost important thing is to understand that we have a family, and we can take them out occasionally to orphanage and show them around and see that how lucky the children are, because those poor things, they don't have anyone to call them as relatives. So we can make them understand the value of family by taking them to orphanage and celebrating birthdays and festivals with the kids, distributing food and clothes. So we can develop sharing habit also. Those things and the things and toys which they no longer use need not be discarded like this. If it is in a good condition, they can distribute it among the less fortunate children. So this will create a good example, and they will become a model citizen.
That's a very nice thought process, ma'am, and it definitely shows what you exactly want from the society, from the children, and what they should learn. Definitely, we are going ahead with all those positive vibes from you, and we will be just looking forward for your next book, and we will be much eager to share the thoughts on that as well. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for coming on our show, and we are looking forward to joining you soon again. I'm giving the link of your book on my description, and we will be hovering that, okay, everything will fine, and children will also learn all the things, best things from their parents and all from their elders. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks for coming on our show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for watching our content. If you like this content, please do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you.